Hi brothers and sisters, it's been a while since I made a video, but I'm still been gathering information, and the first thing I wanted to show was most of us who do the research, we know about CERN, we know about their logo, the 666, how they make it pretty blatant what they're about, and we've all speculated what they're doing there with their statue of Shiva the Destroyer out front. And I remember one video I watched before of one of the scientists who actually worked there. He was quoted, I heard the video, he said, "We already know there are other dimensions and we know entities reside there, and we're trying to create a gateway between the worlds." So I mean, that's one of their own scientists. And then, you know, another little picture of Obama, the God of all things, letting us know that he's Shiva the Destroyer, that he's Satan. And a lot of people think he's the Antichrist. I believe myself that he's Satan, and Prince William is the Antichrist spirit, Apollyon. But here we have the Cern machine, the inside. It's the Ring of Fire, and it matches up with Quetzalcoatl, again showing that Quetzalcoatl's coming through the wormhole. And then, just like they do for the Washington Monument, they're like the reflecting pools to show as above, so below. They make sure it's set up so it casts the shadow. You know, the two worlds, the shadow world and this world. But the one thing I found just the other day, it was in this book, the Demon Dictionary. I'll just go right to the book. I kept looking before for the meaning of CERN, because I show in other videos the definitions, and everything in this world is about the words. Jesus Christ is the Word of God, so of course our enemy tries to manipulate all the words, especially in the so-called legal system. But I found CERN in here. I highlighted it right there, except they had an E on the end. And this is, I guess, an archaic word, but it says an obsolete name for a magic circle traced with a magician's wand to conjure demons. So I don't know how much more clear they can make it what their intention is with this machine. And just coincidentally, they're firing it back up in March, you know, when we're due for our solar eclipse at, you know, double the power. So it seems like we're getting very close. And like I said, you know, their point is a wormhole. If you look at the definition for worm, again, you have to read all the definitions. Each definition is this word. We're only taught the common one. So you scroll down, and like I said, there's things about computers on here, and you know, it refers back to the Matrix. But when you get down, where's it at? Worm. Hold on. The next one. Old English. W-Y-R-M, dragon, serpent. So the wormhole literally is the dragon hole, the hole for the dragon, the serpents to come through. Another word I had found, remember when all the zombie stuff was going on, you know, and how they make fun of the zombies and everyone thinks they know what it means. But if you just look up the definition of zombie, and I just go to the free online dictionary, it tells you flat out what these things are. In voodoo belief and popular folklore, a corpse that has been reanimated, especially by means of a supernatural power or spell. So we know that a little bit, but then when you go down to the second or third definition, definition number 3, a snake god of voodoo cults in West Africa, Haiti, and the southern United States. So it's telling you that these are snake gods they're calling. Again, the serpents. That's what they're trying to release from this pit. But back to the Bible, some people, you know, that obviously don't spend any time trying to understand the Bible will take a sentence and try to distort it to fit their worldview, like the word bastard. In Deuteronomy 23:2 it says, "A bastard shall not enter into the congregation of the Lord. Even to his 10th generation shall he not enter into the congregation of the Lord." Well, if you don't know what you're talking about, I haven't researched it, and I've heard this from atheists say this, that what kind of God, you know, would punish someone for the parents not being married or not knowing who their father is, That's a terrible God. Well, yeah, if you don't know what the word means and you just want to speculate, why don't you look the word up? Because God developed these languages. He knows the meaning of every single word, every meaning of every word, and He's telling us things if we just spend a little time looking. So we go to bastard, and of course the first definition, that the one they want us to know and only think of, a person born to parents not married to each other. But if you just scroll down, let's see what they're really talking about. Breeds. A hybrid, especially an accidental or inferior one. It's telling you right there the bastard they're referring to as hybrid. A hybrid. And how do we know that for sure? Well, we'll go back to the Bible verse, Deuteronomy 23:2. The bastard, the hybrid, shall not enter into the congregation of the Lord, even to his 10th generation. Well, we know Noah was the 10th generation. And what was the cause of the flood? That the whole world was polluted with this serpent DNA, this mixed, fallen angel human DNA. And that's what we have on this planet today. As hard as it may believe for some people, the Bible all through is telling us about DNA. There are two lines on this planet. And the one is the ones who call themselves the Illuminati, the secret society, the royals who have the divine right to rule. They literally have this DNA from fallen angels. They're the ones who give them the technology, like in the book of Enoch. They called them the Watchers, and the wives of them learned the Watcher craft, which later became witchcraft. Next word, I found this to be pretty neat, is we all know the famous verse. The word shout. I'm trying to find that verse. Okay, it's 1 Thessalonians 4:16. For the Lord himself shall descend from earth with a shout, with the voice of the archangel, and with the trump of God, and the dead in Christ shall rise first. Again, here I think there's multi-dimensional meanings. Obviously, it is an actual noise, a shout. And if you ever seen a jet break the sound barrier, you see these holes open up. You see these clouds open up in the atmosphere. So I believe that's part of it. But if you dig further and look up the word shout, the meaning, God always gives you more. Like everything in the Bible has multi-meanings, the number, everything means something. And obviously we're never going to figure it all out. God is the author of the book. But shout, the first definition that we all know, a loud cry, especially to convey emotion or a command. But then you look down and it says round, especially of drinks. One's turn to buy a round of drinks. I've never heard that in my entire life, that a shout was a person's turn to buy a round of drinks. But that's the meaning. So how is that significant? We go to Matthew 26:29. And we see, started 28 or 27, and he took the cup and gave thanks and gave it to them, saying, drink ye all of it, for this is my blood of the New Testament, which is shed for many for the remission of sins. And 29 says, but I say unto you, I will not drink henceforth of this fruit of the vine until that day when I drink it new with you in my Father's kingdom. So he's telling you right there, when he comes with that shout, he's going to, literally buy us that round of drinks, that we're the one, we finally made it through, that he's not going to drink of that cup until he's drinking it with us all at one time, all of us together. So little things like that give us comfort. And there's so many things like this. I'm telling you people, the answer is in the Word. Like even something as simple as pitchfork. We think of the devil with his pitchfork. Well, he's not talking about the pitchfork to bale hay with. A pitchfork, a tuning fork, the frequencies. And once, I was amazed when I learned how the human eye works. And it actually works a lot like a computer screen. We think we just see something and it's there, but it's not. Everything is light in this world, light and frequency. And basically, our eyes are deciphering that code. There's light, and our eyes can only decipher certain layers of code. And that code goes through our eyes, that light. It gets sent to our brain, and our brain unscrambles it. So that's why there are these other realms, these other spectrums of light that we don't have the ability to see or interpret right now. And that's why, the devil and these fallen angels and demons are shapeshifters. They're manipulating the light to change their appearance. And I also believe, I have no evidence for this, but I know for a fact that they take all our blood at birth. They have these DNA collection things. They all prick our heel and they take our blood. And I personally think, all the witchcraft that's being done, I think there's something being done to make people so blind because, I think we're born and they take our blood and blind us. And then literally when you're born again, you have a new spirit. You have new blood. You have the blood of Christ. And then you can start seeing all this stuff that's so obvious. We're shouting to these people and they can't hear a word of what we say. It's not normal. It has nothing to do with intelligence. It has nothing to do with them being stupid. It's literally witchcraft. These people cannot see this stuff. They're spiritually blind, and the scales have to be peeled away. But everything in this world revolves around the words. Simple things like an atheist. Well, if you take the A away, it's a theist, so it's the opposite. The same thing with a muse. You take the A away, it's muse, to think over. A muse means to not think, to daydream. And that goes like to entertainment. If you look up the word, and this blew me away, I was breaking down every word I can think of, looking up definitions for everything. And I looked up the word tain, like as in entertainment. It's taken a minute, but basically what it was saying was it's the aluminum or the metal on the back of the mirror. So tain, yeah, here it is, a type of paper thin plate, tinfoil used as a backing for mirrors. So when you entertain, you're entering that mirror world, the world that is the opposite of this world. It looks exactly the same, but it's actually the exact opposite, the bizarro world, and that's where I think we can all agree we're living in today, is this bizarro world where the Bible tells us that good's going to be bad and bad's going to be good. And, nothing makes sense in this world. It's been completely flipped upside down. Even some words they have multiple meanings for, like peace, the man of peace, and it's talking about the Antichrist. Well, peace, again, has more than one meaning. Peace is, what we know of as, everyone getting along, peace, a calm period, no war. But it also means, like, rest in peace. It means death. So, the man of peace is the man of death. This is going a little slow. But like I said, you go to the online dictionary, you can look all these words up. Do another window. You can also look at the word, oh, here's a good one. I like this part. The word belly. In the Bible, in Genesis, when the serpent is being punished for for tricking Eve. Where's it at? It's Genesis 4, Genesis 3. Yeah, Genesis 3. And the Lord God said unto the serpent, Because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle, and above every beast of the field. Upon thy belly shalt thou go, and the dust shalt thou eat all the days of thy life. Now you got to understand that God is speaking poetically here. Like the tree, before in the other video I told you, tree means a figure that branches from a single genealogical root. It's talking about those directly from God, like the sons of God. Well, here it's saying that he's going to eat the dust, which the dust, we are the dust. So he's going to survive off us, off of our lifeblood. But also belly, which I, searched every definition of belly, and I couldn't believe what I found in there. Of course, this thing's going to mess up. Try to close the window. Well, anyway, when you look up belly, one of the definitions was corporation. And that's how they're doing everything today. A corpse, a dead person, a corporation. And that's what they've done to us through the birth certificates. When we get the birth certificate, it's basically like an article of incorporation. And the same thing with Social Security number is like a employer identification number. They create a legal person. And that's another word you want to look up, person. Especially the legal definition of it. It's a corporation, an artificial entity, and they create a corporation that has the same name as you when you're born. So that's who they have control over. It's like the pyramid of, God created man, and through Adam named all the animals. It showed that Adam had dominion. He named them, just like God named Adam. So God had dominion over Adam. So man created government. Man created police officers. Man created judges. So man has dominion over all of them. So the ultimate plan that they wanted to be in control, the servants wanted to be in control, as you see through the Bible, I forget who it was, but they were cursed to be the servants of their brothers, and they didn't want to be the servant. Obviously the servant wanted to be the master, just like Satan. Satan doesn't want to be a servant anymore. He didn't want to be a servant to man. He wanted to be like God. He wanted to be a master. So what they've done is they renamed us. But they didn't really name us. They created a trick. So when you agree to be that name, you're a surety for that name, like a cosigner on a loan. They call it, you're creating joinder between yourself and that legal name. And that's how they're controlling everyone. It's just like contract law. And we're even warned in the Bible about this, back in Proverbs, I believe it's 11:15. He that is surety for a stranger shall smart for it, and he that hateth suretyship is sure. So the Bible, that's where they get all this law from. They're using the Bible against us. They're using the law. And that's what the devil wants. He wants us all to be under the law, because we're all guilty under the law. It's literally like a court case going on, that we owe this blood debt through Adam. And the whole reason God came into the flesh through Jesus and into our bloodline was so he would be, lawfully allowed to pay this debt for us. And anyone that, chooses to accept that is allowed to. But if you don't choose it, you still have free will. You have the right not to choose it. And then you will be judged under the law. And Satan's law is this legal system today, where it's developed to be, and we see it every day. This legal system is developed so everything can be yes and everything can be no at the same time. It just matters on what they want to do. And you can take it back to common law, law of man. If you want to look up a great guy who's figured out how to do this. His name's Cern Lhc, K-A-R-L-L-E-N-T-Z. He's figured out how to do common law, how to, basically bring it back into the common law, where man trumps their corporate status or their officer status, and that your man's claim trumps their complaint. It's all through deception. Just like, in law, suffer, like pain and suffering, suffer, which means, when you look it up, suffer means that you were caused pain, but you allowed it. You allowed it to happen. You could have stopped it at any moment, but you allowed it to happen. I guess that's it for now. The only other one I found that I thought was pretty cool was, there's plenty more, but just time-wise, the amniotic fluid. And when we're being born into this world. And the legal definition of born is, if you get a legal dictionary or if you go on these definitions and hit the legal meaning, born means to wholly brought into a separate creation. So when something's born, not only man or woman are born into this world, but these corporations are born into this world. Just like with the birth date. That birth date is the date that that legal person was created. Our birth date is when we were conceived. We don't know our birth date. That's when life starts, is at conception. So we don't know our birth date, and that's why every police officer, they're all trained to get your name or get your ID, because as soon as you give them your name, give and name, when you start looking those words up too, it's telling you you're giving them authority over you. Just like when, when you see in the movies when, the exorcist is screaming at the demon, "Give me your name, demon." He's trying to get that lawful authority over that demon. And the same thing is going on in this world. They're trying to create the government of hell on earth. And that's what's happening here. As above, so below again. But amniotic, and it comes from amnesia. It's the same thing. And even when you look that up, you find out pregnant women, when that fluid develops, they start getting amnesia. And they're starting to lose their memory. And I think they say around the 7th month, they really start losing their memory more because of that fluid. Well, we have memory before this world. And that fluid, I believe it's referred to in some of the books as the cup of forgetfulness. And to have a true test, we have to come into this world blank. We have to, if we knew what was going on, it wouldn't really be a test. Everyone would just choose automatically. God wants a real test going on, that He wants us to, experience and learn what happens from disobedience in this world. So, I'm telling you, every single word has meaning, and that's what they're doing. Every law, every statute, or actually all these statutes, codes, and ordinances, every one of them use the word person. Person or persons. They never say people, they never say man, they never say woman. They always use person and the word shall. Shall is future tense. It doesn't mean now, it means sometime in the future. And also the word you. Like a lot of people say they don't like the King James, it's too hard to read. There's a reason it uses those words like thee and thou. It's because it's 100% grammatically correct. You, the word you, can never be used singularly. We use it that way all the time because we've been taught to do that. But when you say you to somebody like they do in their crazy legal system, that's more than one entity. So they're, again, creating that joinder between you and the legal person. It's just a word game. That's exactly what they're doing, and we're being deceived for lack of knowledge. So I think that's about it I have for today. I'll try to make another video soon, but I'm telling you, I try to put this information out. I've been shut down on different talk shows trying to get it out. They cut me off quick. I've had multiple problems with computers. My laptop's been fried for doing this, but I'm going to keep trying to get it out. And like I said, start looking these words up, especially the biblical words. If something you're not positive of, that's the only reason you don't know what a sentence means, is you're not unsure of certain words. And I'm telling you, you start looking up a couple definitions in a sentence in the Bible, you're going to get whole new understandings. You're going to get 10 or 11 different things from one sentence sometimes. Thanks, guys. God bless, and hopefully I'll be talking again soon.